Hey, ladies. Hope you are doing well today. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. It's your girl Cheree in the building. Super excited to be here. Just want to turn on a couple of things here because it's like a true pop-up live for me, but had a couple of things I want to talk about. Been wanting to talk about immigration for a while, think like an immigrant, all of those things. And I'm taking the time to do it today. So don't forget to give me a thumbs up as you are coming in. If you are listening to the replay, please put replay in the chat. Hope you listen to this because I believe there are going to be some gems with regards to the topics that we're talking about today, with regards to immigration, and more importantly, with regards to can Black women work with migrants and immigrants? Are we going to be able to live cohesively? Short answer, in case you don't want to go through the entire video, is that if you are upwardly mobile, if you are middle class, upper class, the answer is yes. If you are poor or the working poor, it's going to be extremely hard for you. It's going to be extremely hard for you. So today we're going to talk about a couple of different stories. We're going to talk about the migrants in Chicago. Some of you may have heard about what's happening in Chicago. There's also a story in New York that is very similar. We're going to talk about that as well. Then we're going to talk about the Asian bank that has basically said they do not want to have Black depositors there. I have some comments that may surprise you, a little bit of unpopular opinion with regards to that. Then I'm also going to talk about the call that I got from an immigrant and why I'm not mad at him. He is dipping into Black resources. I'm okay with it. He wants to work with me. I want to work with him. It's going to be a very good thing for me. And my whole thing is if you are an upwardly mobile Black woman, you should not fear. You should not fear the immigration wave. Now, I do believe in building the wall. I do believe in building the wall, right? I do believe that there shouldn't be a million migrants just coming in and nobody knows who any of these people are. I absolutely agree with that. Even though I think that the government does know who who's getting in. Let's just say it like that. But we're going to talk about the fact that if you are poor or working class Black person, that's where the real competition is with the migrants. Um, the more you go up the economic scale, the difference, you'll see the difference with regards to immigrants. And ultimately, I want us to think like immigrants as well. Everybody, click the like button as you're coming in, please. Click the like button as you're coming in. Um, we should think like immigrants. So let's take a step back. Let's take a step back to the mindset of an immigrant, right? So imagine you live in a third world country. And if you've ever traveled to a third world country, really putting yourself there. And you may have been educated in that third world country, or you may be uneducated. But let's say you have some education. And things are not stable in that country. So you decide to pack up your belongings and walk hundreds of miles or get on a plane and come to a country where you don't speak the language and start from the bottom. And you have to think about the mindset of an individual who is willing to do that. I read in an article earlier today that only 2% of Americans are willing to move for work. Only 2% of Americans right now are willing to move for work. During the pandemic, it was 4 to 5% that were willing to move for work. But you have somebody who is willing to leave their country, leave the comfort of their home, travel to a foreign land, illegally or legally, set up shop, work day and night in order to live the American dream. That is a frame of mind that we can compete with if and only if we are upwardly mobile Black people. So Selfish Love is in the building. Hello. Yes, saying please like the video. Yes, everybody. Or dislike the video if you don't like what I'm saying. That's fine. Just engage with it. Hey, Shar. Good to see you as well. You're saying not interested. I'm not pro-Black. These people are here in America to stay child free here, age 70, speaking 3 foreign language. Oh, well, look, I love speaking 3 foreign language. I love that. I think we can work with immigrants who are upwardly mobile as well. And I'm going to talk about a call that I got. I'm going to talk about a couple of other stories first, but I'm going to talk about a call that I got. And actually 15 white liking, 6 likes. So let me do this, Shar, because you're bringing up a good point. I usually do my little poll that says, did you like the video? And that should help as well. Let's ask the community that, and that way we can definitely get the likes up. Thanks everybody for getting the likes up for me. Okay, before I do that though, don't forget, if you want to be on my email list, BW Making Money. Ooh, I got that wrong here. I'm doing all sorts of stuff wrong today. bwmakingmoney.com, bwmakingmoney.com for exclusive content. We do not have Patreon on this channel. We do not have YouTube memberships. The way that you can join our inner circle is by signing up for the email list, bwmakingmoney.com. On Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to have a session on LinkedIn and leveling up using LinkedIn. If you're trying to get to the 6-figure brigade, 7-figure entrepreneurs, 8-figure entrepreneurs, LinkedIn is where it's at. So you definitely want to be a part of our universe for that. Also, I have a grant session coming. If you want to get business grants, that's going to be on May 25th. But the only way that you can get the links for the invitations is to be on the email list at bwmakingmoney.com. Okay, so let's first of all go to the first story here, talking about Chicago. So there's a lot happening in Chicago. You all know that Chicago, I believe the new mayor I know that he was elected. I think it's not inaugurated, but sworn in or whatever it is. But there are some things happening in Chicago with regards to migrants coming in, and they are going to be given access to a school that has been closed that was promised by Lori Lightfoot as a youth center. But instead, it's gone to migrants. So we're going to watch this news clipping, and then we're going to come back and have a discussion about this.
Insulting that you would consider such action about a forgotten community that none of you live in.
Developing tonight, outbursts and outrage at a community meeting in South Shore over a housing plan for migrants.
The debate comes as the city deals with the crisis of where to put migrants bussed in from the border.
Elizabeth Matthews is live now with more. Elizabeth.
Corey and Don, contentious to say the least. This forum was a chance for city leaders to get input from the public about the old South Shore High School housing migrants. The city got their input.
So there's a packed house for this, yet that there are other things within our communities that do not have packed houses. Just want to put that out there. But the migrants that are coming in, unfortunately for poor Black Americans, the migrants are the competition. And the competition with regards to the migrants are Black Americans. For jobs, for resources, for opportunities, the American government, the cities have decided that they are going on the migrant sides. Even though we keep voting these people in, and I won't say me, I'm not voting for them. Let's keep listening.
packed house at the South Shore International College Prep High School. The crowd voicing their opinion, strongly opposing the addition of migrants in their community.
I am just outraged. I'm outraged, and I don't understand why our community was chosen.
City representatives saying the old South Shore High School would not be a shelter, but one of 3 respite centers for the migrants to temporarily sleep, eat, and take a shower, starting with about 250 people taking up the building's first floor. This is a way for the city to get the current 300 migrants out of the police stations. Questions were asked, but answers hard to hear, interrupted by the upset crowd. Before the meeting, a small protest of South Shore neighbors demanding the energy put into the migrant issue be put into their neighborhoods.
It is a slap in the face that we as citizens of the United States of America do not have the resources and support, but you're going to bring people who are not citizens here in our community, in our buildings that we pay taxes for, that you took away from us. Yeah. That is completely unacceptable. We are in a humanitarian crisis right now. The Black people in Chicago are bleeding on the streets.
Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson had this to say about the migrant crisis.
We have a responsibility to make sure that families who are seeking love and support here in the city of Chicago and throughout the state of Illinois, that they are not just welcome, but they are serviced.
Who said this? Shar said this. He just started on Monday. This is the guy that just started on Monday. And my understanding is he said this during election season. He made this comment during election season. Somebody asked a very good question here. I want to respond to it. What was it? Here it is. Rose, how do you give migrants housing but Americans are homeless? I'll tell you exactly how and why. It is because they have no power. Because you're dealing with a Black American base that lives in these neighborhoods that have no power. They have no economic power. They have no political power. They will show up at a rally and at a meeting one time, and it could be because they're working and things like that. But this is the reason, because they have no economic power. They have no political power. Also, the woman said that you have Chicagoans, Black Chicagoans bleeding in the streets. They're also seeing it as, let's call a spade a spade. They're also seeing it as the people who will get no power, who are asking, and now y'all know I'm for reparations, but listen to me, take a step back, that are asking for reparations instead of resources that can be used in order to further their economics so that they can pour more into the city. I'm telling you, if we look at this from a business point of view, we take our emotions out of it and we look at this from a business point of view, because we are Black women making money. We are home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. We have to look at it as these individuals in politics are looking at revenue basis, tax basis, and they believe that the migrants, supporting the migrants, is going to bring them more economic prosperity individually and as a city than supporting the Black Chicagoans. And if we're not honest about that, if the individuals who went to these rallies are not honest about that, they'll never make the case for them being invested in. I know that it's tough to hear. That's the reason why, as upwardly mobile Black woman, I'm not personally concerned about the migrants. Because quite frankly, they have to go several steps in order to get to where I am and where they affect me. Not that I don't care about Black people. I'm not saying that at all. Everybody like the video as you're coming in as well. Not that I don't care about Black people. I'm saying that you have not proven in these communities that you are an economic viable base who is willing to vote Republican, who is willing to vote for the law and order person if things don't go your way. Because they just put that Chicago guy in there on Monday. He was just elected about a month and a half ago, something like that. Alexis saying, I did not hear him mention migrants at all during the elections. I heard that he did. From newscasters. Cities want fresh blood and fresh dollars. People have been in the communities for decades and done nothing. Absolutely. We have to be honest. Selfish love. You're right. Why did they not move them to the neighborhoods with more resources then? Well, let's talk about that. The people with more resources would say what? No. Not only would they say no, what else would they be able to do? They'd be able to put dollars up, which adds to political pressure. This is a business move they're making. Black people don't attend public hearings to know what their city council is doing. They don't attend it until the decisions are made. You're absolutely right, Kay. I know that you're involved in civics. I am as well. I started meeting with my local council people, state senators. I got their phone numbers, their email addresses. I'm starting to develop relationships with them. Trust me, in 3 years, they're going to know me by name. I will have their personal cell phone numbers. That's what Claude Anderson was screaming about, but nobody paid heed. Yeah, absolutely. Reparation requests instead of requests for resources. Here's the thing, Alexa. There are plenty of resources available for Black Americans that we do not use. I want to do a session. I want to prepare it, but it is, if you wanted reparations today, you could get it. You could get it through resources. The U.S. government and these cities have resources for you to get housing through NACA. They have workforce development grants. They have all sorts of grants for all sorts of things that we want to do in order to build wealth. In fact, the immigrant that contacted me, I'll give y'all a preview. He's getting money through the Black Chamber of Commerce. And do you think he is Black or non-Black? I'll give you a hint. He is non-Black. But he found out about the resources through the Black Chamber of Commerce, and he's going to get those resources, and he asked me for help. And yes, I'm helping him because I'm getting something out of the deal. But those resources are allocated. There are resources allocated. It doesn't say Black people only reparations paid to the order of, so people are ignoring it. But you have resources that can level up your income. You have resources that can level up your financial literacy for free. There are resources that can get you into to home ownership with the down payment through the NACA program, etc. You're saying Cheree is the business. I'm going to take a page out of her book. Look, I wasn't mad at him at all. I said, oh, that's the deal? That's what you're doing? Well, I need this over here because he's a tech guy. I'm like, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. And believe me, the thing that he's doing for me is worth twice as much as what I'm doing for him. But I have a special skill set. So he's not looking at Cheree as Black and I don't want to work with Black people, blah, blah, blah. He is a guy that made six figures last year, coming to me, asking me for my skill set, doesn't care a lick that I'm Black. He's like, I can help you. You can help me. Let's do business. Yeah, I'm going to get my money. Certainly am. And I would suggest anybody else on this channel, anybody else in these neighborhoods, listen to what I'm saying. Absolutely. This is something that Erica put up here. New York. We know this is happening in cities all across the country, but these are two that I found. Eric Adams, they just elected him as well a year ago, tells outraged parents to deal with adult migrants living in public school gyms. Why do you think Eric Adams could tell these Black mothers to go, I'll say it, go screw themselves? That's basically what he said. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, told these Black mothers, yes, we know your children are coming in here for school. We don't care. It is because they have no political power and no economic power. And even if they vote Eric Adams out, they'll vote somebody else in who practically believes the same thing. The way the Black people and immigrants can work together is if you are upwardly mobile. However, let's talk about the Asian bank that said they don't want Black depositors, right? Because see, what I do is I don't just read the headline. I like to read the entire article. And for this, I happen to actually listen to the entire 9 minutes and 43 seconds of this. And we're going to listen to it together. Yeah, Al Sharpton is useless. Useless. All of them are useless. Hey, fine womanhood, good to see you. All right, we're going to play this. I'm going to give you a preview of what I'm going to say about this Black couple. I think this Black couple is leaving stuff out. I'm saying it. They are leaving stuff out of this story, but we're going to listen to this 9 minutes of this, and you let me know what you think. Everybody, don't forget to like the video or dislike it if you want to as well. Just engage with the content. Let's hear what's happening here.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. A Houston couple says they went to open a checking account at a bank and was told no. We only serve Asians at this bank. Now let that marinate for a second and take a look at this.
All of this is according to a lawsuit filed on the couple's behalf in Harris County. They're Janice and Jonathan Brown. The Browns say that experience happened at American First National Bank last year. Instead of being welcomed as new clients, the husband and wife said,
I'm going to start off with this right here. We're going to stop this right here. It says American First National Bank, and it has a whole bunch of Asian, let's say Chinese, I don't know if it's Chinese or whatever, but let's say Chinese characters above it. I don't think that Black people should necessarily go, be discriminated against with regards to going into certain places. But with the countless banks that we have, the Black banks that we have, the white banks that we have, the credit unions that we have. Why would this couple choose to go into this bank with the Asian characters at the top? Years ago, well, I'm a business plan writer, as you all know. I don't do it that much anymore, but I still take a couple of clients. Years ago, I was reaching out to different banks, and there's a bank in New York called Abacus Bank. I'll never forget it. And I went to Abacus Bank's website, and it was in Chinese. I said, oh, okay, this is not a place that is going to, be receptive to what I say. And I moved on. So you're telling me, see, and this is where all of these men talking about if you had male leadership, blah, 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 between the husband and the wife, the husband didn't say, hey, babe, let's go to another bank and open up an account. Why are you going into this bank? Again, not because I don't think Black people should be discriminated against. It just seemed odd to me when I saw this sign. But let's continue. Let's continue.
They were turned away from the Asian-owned bank, alleging employees told them they do not serve Black people. According to the lawsuit filed with the courts, the story took another turn after bank chairman Henry Wu learned about how the couple was treated. That turn allegedly involved an expensive dinner, an expensive trip to Las Vegas, and a $100,000 loan that was later pulled, according to the lawsuit.
Okay, all right. So you all know I needed to play this. We're just a minute in. I want you to get this scene in your head. Black couple goes into a bank that has Asian characters all over it, right? Doesn't look like Bank of America. Doesn't look like Wells Fargo, even though y'all know how I feel about Wells Fargo. Oh my goodness. Doesn't look like Navy Federal. They walk into this Asian bank. The Asian bank says, we don't serve Black people. The head of the Asian bank contacts the Black couple, and you'll find out it's because the Black couple asked if they were FDIC insured. Fine. The head of the Asian bank contacts the Black couple and says, no, 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 no. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. Come to Las Vegas with me on an all expenses paid lavish trip. And we're going to give you a $100,000 loan. There's more to the story than this. There's more to the story than this. But I will say, if something says warning sign, you have a couple here, you have a husband and a wife. That female intuition didn't say to you, this is a little, and Rose said, always want to go where you're not wanted. They told you they didn't want you in the very beginning. But instead, you went to a lavish dinner with the guy. You went on an expensive trip to Las Vegas, and they gave you a $100,000 loan that I think they said they didn't even ask for. I don't know about you, my spidey senses would have been going up. Seems weird. Let's keep going.
We've reached out to Bank Chairman Wu and American First National Bank. They called us back, but would only say they wanted a meeting in person, but would not commit to a statement or interview about the lawsuit. The couple joins us now with their attorney, Jared Woodfield.
Again, we have reached out to Henry Wu and American First National Bank for response in this case. They have not issued a comment. However, they said they want to only meet us in person, but they would not say if they would comment or commit to comment in the case. But we are still open to the meeting, and we will keep you updated on their response. But right now, we have with us on The Factor Uncensored, the couple, and Jared Woodfield, their attorney. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. So first of all, take us to that day and make it as short as you can, though. You wanted to open a bank account at this Asian-owned bank in Houston, and they told you what?
No. They stated they didn't do business with Black people.
And when you heard that, what went through your mind?
We were shocked. My husband asked, are you guys FDIC accredited? And they said, yes. And that was it. And they walked us out with the security guard.
Security.
Yeah.
Okay. So they go into this bank. Oh my gosh. The people say we don't do business with Black people. They get escorted out by security and they come back for more. That would have been enough for me to say, no, thank you. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing anything else with you. It would have been nice for the manager to call and say, we apologize, but okay, they went back for more. Let's keep listening.
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, after they had, said that, they don't do business with blacks, I looked around at the walls and seen that, it was FDIC approved. And I said, like my wife stated, I said, are you guys FDIC approved? And they was like, yes, but, we don't do business with blacks. You need to go find you another bank. So at that,
That's all they would have had to tell me. You need to go find you another bank. I would have said, okay. They weren't interested. You're right. It's embarrassing. All of this, and they could have just went to a black-owned, they could have went to a black-owned bank, even if they went to a white-owned bank. That attorney is a local pro-Republican spokesperson, et cetera, here in Houston. Okay. Well, he said something I thought was very interesting at the end, Chris, but let's continue listening. I don't mind that he's Republican.
at that time, the supervisor, I can't really think of her name right now, but she got us up and walked us out, and they got a security guard by the door. So he, told us, we have to get out pretty much.
Wow. But the next day, you guys got a call, right?
Correct.
And who was this called from?
Annie, the head supervisor in Katie's branch.
Okay. And what happened after that?
She said that she wanted to have a meeting with ourselves and chairman to discuss what happened.
And the chairman being the chairman of that bank,
Henry Wu.
Correct.
And so what happened once you guys met Henry Wu?
My husband was not able to come that particular day, so I just went. Myself, Lillian, Annie, and Mr. Wu met. The moment I walked in, he said, I fired her. That's it. Never.
You're right, Char. I didn't even think about that. How did they know what phone number to call this couple? How did they know? You're absolutely right. Did they start filling in the paperwork and then they stopped? Or I didn't even think about that. That is very perceptive. They should have sued Naomi from the very beginning. They went back for more. I think there's holes in this couple's story. I'll be honest with you. We'll keep listening. But I heard it before. I listened to it before. There are holes in their story.
Gave me an apology, never stated that they don't represent, that they don't do business with black people or anything like that. It's just that I fired her. Mm-hmm. He stated he really wanted to meet my husband and he would like to take us to lunch.
Okay, you went to lunch. Tell us what that lunch was like.
A bribing session.
But what was it? What had occurred there that made you say that or think that?
He talked about a loan. We never went to speak about a loan at the first original visit. We stated that we wanted to open up a checking account and a business account. When we got to the lunch, there was chairman and then president. President was Bruce, and chairman was Henry Wu, along with the loan officer and also the head supervisor of Katie's branch.
So let me get this straight. They don't apologize to you. They invite you to lunch, but they have to talk to your husband. This is probably an Asian thing where men do business with men. Fine. And then they offer you a loan that you did not ask for and you took it. Selfish love is right. I wouldn't even trust my money at this bank. I wouldn't trust these people at all. At all. There's holes in this couple's story. I do believe they said we don't work with black, or we don't want black depositors. I absolutely agree with that. But I think that this couple there are holes in their story as well. Now, they'll probably get a payout. They will probably, they sued the bank. They'll probably get a nice hush settlement, to go away. Well, yeah, let's keep listening.
And that's when they stated that they were going to open up our business and also checking account along with a loan.
And that wasn't all.
No.
What else came after that, Mr. Brown?
Well, what else came after that was pretty much, I want to say damage control. I want to say that, he was trying to bribe us. He was trying to, flex his wealth, flex his muscle.
And how did he do that, though?
As far as like, slinging his money around and, saying, hey, you guys, I want to take you guys to Las Vegas.
You to Las Vegas?
Yes, correct.
And so did that happen?
Yes. So we went to Las Vegas.
Why did they go to Las Vegas? He was slanging his money around, offering them a loan, offered them to take them to Vegas, and you all went? For people who said, for a woman who said that they never apologized for that comment? Okay.
With them, and he said
On his dime.
On his dime. And he said that, anything that he wins at the gambling table, me and him gonna split half. So I was like, wow. We went down there and he lost, real big gambling, and we came back, from the Vegas trip and everything. And pretty much everything went haywire after we received the loan that, they had promised us and gave us.
But they titled that loan something special.
Correct. They titled,
according to the lawsuit.
Correct. They titled the loan as a business loan, but it was on. It was a business loan that they said that it was on paper, but they giving it to us as a personal loan that he only do for friends and family.
Correct.
So let me get this straight. Let's rewind this. You said I'm gonna hold my tongue. Look, I can't hold my tongue with this. This story has so many holes in it. You walk into a bank clearly with Asian lettering on it. You ask to open up a checking account. They say no. And you all are right. They probably started filling out some paperwork. Thanks, Shar, for even, I didn't even think about that. They started filling out paperwork, and for whatever reason, the banker said, no, thank you, please leave. Right? And you all, we haven't even gotten to like the final part of the story yet that I want you to hear. So then they get a phone call the next day. Come meet with me. Wife goes in, says they didn't apologize. Got these people there. They want to meet with the husband as well, take him to lunch, slanging his money around, invited him to Vegas, said, if I win, I'm going to split this money with you 50-50. I'm going to give you this loan. And even though the paperwork said it's a business loan, I'm going to give it to you as a personal loan. I'm going to tell you right now, when people start weaving, and this is not just a Black couple, this is just anybody, when they start going above and beyond with regards to doing shady stuff, run. Run like hell. I would have never taken the trip to Vegas. I would have never taken the lavish dinner. And I sure as hell would have never taken the loan. Because next thing you know, you're caught up in some wire fraud issue, bank fraud issue, don't know the paperwork that you signed. You signed paperwork saying one thing, yet it came to you as another way. And I'm going to say it here because this is Black women making money. This is Black male leadership here. We are told as Black women, if we have a husband, that he's going to be able to decipher these things and tell us which way to go. I am going to say it. And this husband, between this husband and this wife, neither one of them said, babe, to the other one, or was able to persuade them, babe, I don't think we should be going to Vegas with these people. Babe, I don't think we should take this loan. We don't need the loan. We didn't ask them for the loan. I'm not putting my name on any paperwork dealing with any of this. I have to be honest. I have to be honest. Because I think that this couple is as culpable as the Asian people. Let's keep listening, because it's not the worst part of it. Y'all keep listening. It gets worse.
And so that was $100 grand.
Yes, that was $100 grand. Yes.
And you guys had that loan, and then something happened.
Right. So what had happened was that, me and my wife, my son, he had, had his carry and conceal, and he was old enough to purchase a handgun. We went to the gun show and, brought him a firearm, for his birthday and stuff like that. And right after that, they took the loan back.
So let's get this straight. And this is the final thing. When I said it gets worse, they've got this business loan. That was a personal loan. It goes into their bank account. And the son buys a handgun, legal, whatever, great. The son buys a handgun with the money. How many of you think that all of a sudden they saw something from a gun show when they looked at the bank account and the list of things that they were purchasing with this 100,000 and said, "Oh no, we don't want our name attached to this at all"? Because I think that's what happened. Because number one, you got a loan with faulty paperwork. And even though the son had a concealed carry, they may not have known that. They may have been concerned about it. You're saying, I'm confused. Was it a business loan or a personal loan? Well, what he said was, Alexa, what he said was they signed the paperwork saying it was a business loan, yet when they got it, it was marked as personal loan for family and friends. I'm glad you saw that. Yeah, it was a trap from the jump. Yes, Chris, you're right. You're right. And we don't want federal eyes on us and you buying a gun at a gun show. I don't care if you do have a license with the $100,000 that we gave you. Paper trail up the wazoo.
They made our account negative, and didn't give us an explanation of why they took it back. But from what we had knowledge of, that it was a personal loan, not a business loan.
And so when you bought that weapon at the gun show legally,
yes,
Correct.
according to your lawsuit, he pulled the loan back.
Correct.
Okay, Jared, let you pick up from here. What happened? What do you think happened here?
Well, I think it's a situation where originally when they went into the bank, a policy that wasn't necessarily written was accidentally disclosed. So when this individual says, we don't do business with Black people, we're an Asian bank, I think that's the underlying policy there.
I agree with that. I agree with the lawyer. It was an understanding that we don't do business with Black people. She wasn't supposed to say it to them. Okay. See, you'd only have to tell me once for me to walk away. But this couple, they decided that they wanted to get deeper and deeper. They're going to walk away with the settlement. I believe that. But let's keep listening.
She just got caught. She said something she probably wasn't supposed to say. And when Janice brought up the fact that they're FDIC insured, that obviously got to the chairman himself, and he came in with damage control.
Okay, because they said, oh, shoot, we're dealing with smart Negroes that know something about the law. How did they know their purchases? Because it's the bank. It's the bank. They didn't buy the gun with cash. They bought the gun on with the $100,000 loan. They probably had a debit card or a credit card attached to it. That's how they knew. The bank was watching that account. Yep. And I wouldn't have been surprised if the Fed started watching that account. But let's keep listening.
Effort to bribe them. So what do you have? You have expensive dinners. They didn't talk about the dinners at Pappadeaux's Steakhouse, $30,000+ in one evening.
Wait, what? I missed that the first time. $30,000 in one evening, taking this couple out. Probably some other people were there too. 30 grand and you all didn't have the red flags going up? Come on. This story has holes in it.
that Mr. Wu spent, the trips to Vegas, where at one night losing $250,000+. In fact, it got so bad that Janice left the casino because she couldn't stand to see that kind of money wasted in one evening. And then we go back to Houston, and they get this loan that is only for friends. And when they do something they legally have a right to do, it appears that they have been watching every single transaction that the Browns have been made.
Because now they have an account at the bank where the money is deposited.
Right. So they want to look for this opportunity to take the money from them and somehow say you're bad people. And so it was completely consistent with the underlying loan itself. And so, but then it gets worse. So they go into that meeting, and the bank, Chairman Wu and others, get very aggressive with the Browns. And once again, for the second time, they're escorted out by security. But then it doesn't end there. I wish I could say that it did. As we started moving forward and discussing the matter with them, the representatives from the bank said that we have found or seen an African American male parked out in our parking lot at our bank. Mr. Wu has seen an African American male driving through his neighborhood. And they automatically said that it was Mr. Brown because it was an African American male, had to be him in their mind, and that they said they were going to go after him because he was allegedly stalking them. Then they, to add it, make it even worse, they come up with a letter and say, we now believe that your client, Mr. Brown, is a registered sex offender, that he had molested children. Wasn't even him. So I said, give me the proof. They send me a document. It's someone that doesn't even look like him, and it's completely unrelated to him. So this has been an effort and an attempt to do everything they can to destroy these good people simply because they want justice to be served. Now, this is one couple that this has happened to, and it came out and it's been exposed to the light of day. How many other folks have gone to this bank where this so-called self-described king of Asian banks has done the exact same thing to them, whether they be African American, Hispanic, Caucasian, something other than Asian, they've been treated unfairly.
Incredible story. We want to thank you.
All right. You wouldn't have had to tell me more than once. You're right, Rose. I bet the lawyer's saying they're stupid in his mind. Yeah, but now he's like, well, if there are other couples, other people this has happened to with this Mr. Wu guy, come out, because we're going to do a class action suit. Like you couldn't see that coming a mile away. So now you have put yourself and your family in the midst of something where you had so many red flags. V is right. So many red flags. You could have saved yourself the headache. There is no $100,000 loan that is worth the headache that this couple is going through with regards to getting escorted out by security twice, being accused of being a registered sex M-worder. Are you kidding me? Absolutely crazy. So yeah, I think there are holes in their story. I do. I think that the Asian individuals were wrong. I think that the Black individuals were wrong. But here's what I am going to say to you. For everybody who has just come in, first of all, like the video. Second is there are immigrants that we can work with and we do want to work with. The two scenarios I showed you initially with the migrants in Chicago and New York, and now this Asian bank, these are people basically saying, we don't want to work with you. But guess what? There are immigrants that I believe we can work with, and I believe that we can leverage and they can leverage us. So a couple of days ago, got a phone call from an associate of mine that I've known for years. She said, Cheree, there's a guy I need you to talk with because you're the only person I could think of that can help him. So this individual is an immigrant, non-Black. He used resources from one of the Black chambers. Turns out this Black chamber has a cohort of, people who can learn more about business and get access to funding. When I tell you all, instead of chasing reparations, we should be chasing resources. Again, I believe in reparations. I believe reparations should be paid to us. However, I believe there's a 5% chance we'll get reparations. There's a 100% chance you can get resources in this country to level up your education, get into housing through NACA. There's workforce development programs, etc. in this country. You can get the resources 100% to level up. This immigrant came in, he worked the system. He found something through one of the Black chambers of commerce. He said, I need some help with regards to the fact that I know how to write business plans. I said, okay, well, this is what I normally charge, but it turns out he's a tech guy and I need some tech stuff built for me. So look, fair exchange. We're going to do a barter, fair exchange, right? Next day, he comes to me and says, I have a chance to get, I think it's a $250,000 loan because of this program that I belong to. This is the date that the business plan is needed. Can you help me? This is, again, a resource through one of the Black chambers of commerce. Why am I making this point? Number one, the immigrants, the migrants are coming here. They are finding resources everywhere. We are so busy focused on reparations that we are not looking at the resources that's available. The impoverished in Chicago and New York are so busy looking at, hey, they're getting housing, that they're not taking advantage of the other resources, in my opinion. They're not taking advantage of the other resources that's available to them. If you are a Black person in poverty, you basically have, in my opinion, no chance going up against the migrants and the immigrants. For practical reasons, people believe that the migrants and the immigrants are going to be harder workers and work for less money than Black Americans. Absolutely, that is what they believe. But as you work up the economic food chain, we are not only on par with the immigrants and the migrants, we are better off than they are. If you work on the four things I'm always telling you to get together, your technical skills, your soft skills, your multicultural networks, including first and second generation immigrants that can help you, and your resources, we can leverage the immigrants. Because guess what? There are a lot of you a couple of you who have said to me on this channel that you were speaking with an immigrant and he told you where the resources were and how to get into the program and do this here and do that there in order to get in and get through and get additional money. We can leverage them. They are finding out about these resources, and if we have a good relationship with them, they will tell us as well. Do I think all of them will like us? No. But guess what? All Black people don't like us either. All Black people don't like me either. And that's okay. I build my network around the people who want to engage with me, and I let everyone else go. I'm on the hunt for resources. The immigrants are on the hunt for resources. The migrants that are at working class, lower class today, believe me, they are coming here. They're going to get resources. Their kids are going to move up the economic ladder. Their grandkids are going to move up the economic ladder. We have a chance to work with them in order to build wealth for our families. We have a chance to do it. So I'm going to throw the StreamYard link in to the chat if you all want to come and talk about any of the things that we talked about today. I've got about 10 minutes and then I have got some other stuff to do, but I'll let you come on if you have anything that you want to say. I'm not afraid I believe in build the wall. I don't think that we should have migrants coming in without knowing who they are, but I get it with regards to America and the economy. I get it with regards to the fact that there are a lot of job openings that business owners are saying they can't find good people for. You know, I get it from a business point of view. I get it from a business point. I don't agree with it because there are a lot of Black people who are unemployed and underemployed, but I don't think we've positioned ourselves for those jobs and for those opportunities. And that's the reason why I think that um, with regards to lower class, socioeconomically lower class people, working class people are going to have harder struggles with migrants and immigrants than those of us who are upwardly mobile. Sunday class is probably going to be an hour and 15 minutes. Hour, 15 minutes. It's a 3-part process. And actually, I have a test that I need to drive an hour and a half for on Monday morning. So I won't be on that long on Sunday. Nobody wants to come up and talk about this. Okay, well, y'all had a lot to say in the chat. You're saying reparations were denied. Apparently, there are a lot of reparations, what do you call it? A lot of reparations movements in different states and cities and things like that. But even with regards to the states, I know that there was one place that gave $25,000 in reparations for Black homeowners to get repairs done on their properties. I think it was in Michigan someplace. But you have a 100% chance of getting resources, 100%. There are resources for Black people. There are resources for Black women. This immigrant that came to me who is non-Black caused me to think, well, shoot, the next time that the Asian Chamber has something, I'm going to apply for that. The next time that the Latino Chamber has something, I'm going to apply for that. Don't be afraid to apply for their stuff. They're applying for ours and they're getting it. And if the people like you, they'll let you in. You're going to be the token Negro. Look, work it. Be the token Negro with a $250,000 legitimate loan for your business. Hey, Alonzo. Okay, well, nobody's coming up. So I think you all have said what you wanted to say in the chat. So I just wanted to come gossip with you a little bit and just wanted to say that we're in a good position as American Blacks, as ADOS, if you're ADOS, even as Nigerian Americans or Kenyan Americans, etc., you're still in a good position. Focus on resources. Focus on resources. Run your race. Get to the top 10% of your field with regards to your technical skills. Get to the top 10% with regards to your soft skills, learning how to communicate on an executive level, learning how to network appropriately. We have innate abilities that first-generation immigrants don't have, and we need to use them. So with that, Shara saying great show, so I'm going to head out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you ladies in a couple of days. Take care. Bye.